Many Dexter fans are asking the same question about Angel Batista. How and why an experienced detective never realized that his colleague, Dexter Morgan, was a serial killer. In fact, Batista often stood up for Dexter, even when others were suspicious of him. Let's explore why. First things first, let's break down the character of Angel Batista. Angel is one of the most loyal and kind-hearted characters in Dexter. As a detective, sergeant, and eventually a lieutenant in the Miami Metro Police Department, Batista was known for his strong moral compass, loyalty to his team, and dedication to justice. To him, the department wasn't just a workplace, it was a family. And Dexter Morgan was part of that family. Batista often expressed admiration for Dexter's forensic skills and praised him for solving tough cases.
You're the best blood expert in the state, and we need you to stay with us, my friend. I'll be all right.
Let's look at some of the most telling moments in the series where Batista went out of his way to support Dexter, even in situations that might have raised suspicion. Confrontations with Dokes. Sergeant James Dokes is one of the few characters who sees through Dexter's facade and becomes openly suspicious of him. Dokes accuses Dexter of being off, but Batista never supports these accusations.
Don't take it personally. Dokes hates all you lab geeks. Relax, bro. It's all right.
In the scene where Dexter explains what really happened during the shooting incident, he reveals that Dokes could not have shot the victim from the position where he was standing and explains how the incident actually occurred. This causes Dokes to react violently and blame Dexter. While Angel Batista isn't the center of this conflict, he becomes the one to support Dexter.
Whoa. The man's just doing what he's supposed to do.
The man is a fucking creep job.
Batista was well aware of the relationship between the two, so even if Dokes had told Batista directly that Dexter was the Bay Harbor butcher, he absolutely would not have believed those words. In Season 5, after Rita's tragic death at the hands of Arthur Mitchell, Dexter becomes the center of attention. Many began to wonder why Trinity had chosen Rita as his victim, and some began to suspect Dexter of killing his own wife. While listening to Dexter's 911 call, Quinn can't believe the calmness with which Dexter reports Rita's death, leading him and the rest of the staff to doubt Dexter's innocence, all except Angel, who tries to justify Dexter's calmness.
He obviously is in shock. Habit of precision.
In Season 7, Captain Maria Laguerta begins to suspect that Dexter is the Bay Harbor butcher. She reopens the case and starts gathering evidence. When Maria finally arrests Dexter and brings him to Miami Metro, Batista was the first to stand up to Dexter, even though Laguerta was once his wife. He absolutely refuses to believe anything Maria says.
Why is Dexter in handcuffs? Dokes is the Bay Harbor butcher. Dexter, what is this? I don't know.
Even during Dexter's interrogation, Batista tries to help his friend.
You're the Bay Harbor butcher.
Dexter, don't say another word.
That's enough.
In Season 8, Episode 12 of Dexter, detectives Angel Batista and Joseph Quinn review security footage showing Dexter killing Oliver Saxon. It was the first time Angel Batista saw a piece of the real Dexter, which immediately leaves him in shock. But even despite Dexter's obvious impulsive actions, which were nothing more than revenge for his sister, Batista still sides with Dexter, even though in any other case he would have considered it premeditated murder.
Okay, I get that.
From this point of view, there's no one and nothing that would make Batista believe that Dexter is a serial killer. Or is there? After Dexter faked his death, it was safe to say that his story with Batista was over and that Angel would never know the truth about his close friend. That would have been the case if not for the follow-up to the legendary series. In the new series, Dexter, New Blood, Batista makes a brief but impactful return. During a conversation with Angela Bishop, the police chief of Iron Lake, he recalls details about the Trinity killer case and mentions Dexter's sister, Deborah.
A young detective, Deborah Morgan.
Maybe she could help us?
She died. Her brother too, tragic, really.
He doesn't mention how she died, which could mean that Angel Batista didn't know that Dexter actually killed Deborah, which also means that Dexter's reputation remained clean even 10 years after his disappearance. Everything changes after Angela Bishop finds a connection between Matt Caldwell's murder in Iron Lake with the Bay Harbor butcher murders in Miami. All the coincidences lead her to her boyfriend, Dexter Morgan, which she informs Angel Batista about in the last episode of the season.
Dexter Morgan is alive?
And sitting in my jail cell.
Where are you? I'll be there first thing tomorrow.
We're not shown Batista and Dexter meeting all these years later, so we can't say for sure if Angela's evidence is enough for Batista to believe that Dexter is the Bay Harbor butcher. But after Dexter commits the murder of Sergeant Logan, one thing Batista will be sure of is that Dexter is not who he's been pretending to be all these years. Let's summarize and answer the question of why Batista didn't suspect Dexter all these years. Friendship and trust. Batista genuinely liked Dexter and trusted him implicitly. He saw Dexter as a quiet but brilliant expert who helped bring justice to victims. Dexter's ability to pretend to be normal and even warm allowed him to stay under Batista's radar.
Angel, if I got to choose a person to be like out of anyone, it'd be you.
Thanks.
Dexter's charisma. Dexter was a master of deception, carefully crafting an image of a socially awkward but harmless guy. Batista, like most of Dexter's colleagues, bought into it completely. Lack of direct evidence. Dexter was meticulous in covering his tracks. Despite close calls, there was never any direct evidence linking him to the murders. For a professional like Batista, suspicion without proof wasn't enough to act on. Batista's faith in the goodness of people made it impossible for him to believe that someone as seemingly harmless as Dexter could harbor such dark secrets. What do you think? Was Angel Batista too trusting, or was Dexter simply too good at hiding his true self? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I see you in the next video.